Happy Tuesday. This week's tip, we are talking about living expenses, and it is really important to know what your lender's policy is with regards to living expenses before you submit your application. All lenders have things that fall outside of HEM, so outside of general living expenses, and they are generally things like private school fees, strata levy fees, and life insurance policy payments. And that means that your application has to service on general living expenses, so HEM, plus those expenses as additional amounts. They also sometimes give you a box called Other. And if you're trying to bump up your living expenses and you stick a bunch of money in that other box, lenders don't always include that as part of general living expenses because they don't know what they are. So they will still use HEM and your other amount will go on top of HEM. And all of a sudden your application gets to the bank and your servicing is out of whack. The last tip to remember when you're submitting your application with regards to living expenses is that once you submit living expenses, very rarely does a lender let you change them unless it is to increase them. So if you make a mistake and you put your private school fees under your education box so that they're included as general living expenses, the lender is going to move them out of general living expenses and into additional amounts, so on top of HEM. But very rarely are they going to let you adjust the rest of your living expenses to make up for that movement. So if your private school fees are $2,000 a month, all of a sudden you've got a massive servicing problem and your servicing needs to be revisited and possibly your loan amount. So make sure you know what your lender's policy is and make sure that you are completing your living expenses correctly. We actually do a living expenses training module. So if you feel like you need a refresher or you want to see if there is anything that you could learn that you're not currently doing, especially for your staff, then you will find that on our website. That is it from me today. Send me your tips through the website and have a fabulous week.